Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to what may well be our final day here in Signs of the Sojourner. I think I've decided that we're going to, at the very least, accompany the caravan as far as Pachenko. I want to try to have some successful interactions with Isabella and Marquez, and we're definitely going to have the easiest time doing that right now, while we have actually zero fatigue. And if that means that we don't get good stuff going at Anka because we don't show up there until after we're extremely tired, then I guess that's just sort of the price we pay. But I think the Pachenko stuff is pretty important. So, also before we go, I do want to show one thing. I was looking through. Is it profiles? Yeah. Okay. I was looking through our menus here. First of all, we are killing it with Nadine. Nobody gets me like Nadine, not even Ramir. But secondly, in addition to all of the interactions, obviously, that we have missed with people by not going to their town on the right days, and all of the interactions that we've missed by not being successful at other interactions, there's still actually 8 characters that we've never spoken to, and I mean, some of that is just that, like, I never actually got into Old Murray, but basically, I'm just still kind of like, there's a lot here. There's a lot going on. Alright, to Pachenko. A good pit stop for soaking up some sun and some culture and maybe some things to sell in the store, because boy oh boy, do I need some things to sell in the store. Maybe Irad will have something to sell us here. You approach a welcoming rest stop off the side of the road. Yeah, let's join them. What do they want to... They want to give us a single-use accord. I love that. Do we want to throw it on the redraw? Or honestly, a single-use accord on a listen could be pretty big. Let's do that. I think we'll do this one. We're more likely to get in a position where we can meet somebody's triangle and then accord off the grief, rather than putting it on the other one, I think. Alright, here we have probably our final chance to learn anything meaningful about the circle. Where do we want to start with Marquez, or... Oh, apparently Irad's doing alright for himself. He's surrounded by fans. Navigating the winding canyon roads is like second nature to you now, and you're able to appreciate the roadside sculptures and colorful architecture as you easily follow Nadine up to the plateau. Let's start with Isabella, I think. Yeah. I'm a little torn, you can probably tell. Cicadas buzz a final requiem for Isabella's shop. It survived natural disasters and market shocks, but it could not survive alienation from the circle. Well, hopefully she'll have some information to spill to us here. Oh, don't feel too sad, little bird. I've been booted out before, but I always land on my feet. This is just the start of a new adventure. Well, I sure hope she's right about that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I admit, I still feel so much uncertainty about the future. I always had your mom or the circle to support me before Marquez led the group down a different path. One that I couldn't follow. We had another founding partner, but he left ages ago. I've heard rumors he's in Hara now. Perhaps you've heard the name before. It's an old city, abandoned when its water dried up. Hara isn't too far from here. The main problem is the neglected roads. Oh, we can actually get to Hara now. Well, we may be breaking with the caravan, like, immediately. I think we definitely need to visit Hara, especially if we can do it during a period where we're not tired at all. I can't change the circle. Younger people have different ideas, just like your mom and I when we were younger. Okay, do I want to prepare, or... We can hold the clarify, I suppose. So what would be a good draw? Probably this guy. Okay, that's a little bit of a bummer. The future of Pachenko is in the hands of folk like Marquez now, and her circle. I can only wish her luck. Well, no, that's not really all you could do. It was so good to see you again. I just wish that it was in better circumstances. Alright, well, if we gotta do... Let's break with this. There's no way she won't be able to play off that, right? Hopefully she'll play into it with a triangle. Could you help me instead of just watching? Okay, easy enough. This is going to break the accord, but I mean, it's definitely the right play. trying to save that single-use accord here. You can't stay stuck somewhere you don't belong, child. I hope that you don't stop traveling until you find what you're looking for. I think she should be a little bit less eager to let other people tell her where she does and doesn't belong. You assure Isabella that leaving is the right choice, and she offers you a last smile and hug as she heads out. I mean, I say that, but obviously she knows her situation better than I do. What do we want to do here? I don't... maybe I do want the double grief. Double grief over, like, triangle clarify, or... We could take this thing over the double triangle clarify as well. It's not like we're short on triangles. I think I'm going to do that. Alright, now's the time to talk to Marquez, because talking to Irat's only going to make our deck less good at dealing with her. She doesn't look thrilled to see you. I can't imagine why not. Marquez is meeting with some local artists in the streets, but breaks away from them upon spotting you. Oh, she's got a bone to pick. Aha, it's you. I just wanted to tell you, you're wasted on Barto. Pachenko is the shining star of your mom's legacy. Barto is a sideshow, a distraction. I knew her, you know. I knew her very well indeed. Is this a story I should be hearing? Okay, so this is going to be a tricky interaction to make it through, it looks like. I am awfully curious where it's going, though. Why, I'd wager there's a lot you could learn about your mom from the circle. Oh, don't feel bad for not knowing. She was the most private person I knew. I'm unclear. Does Marquez think we didn't know Mom was in the circle? Pachenko is on the rise, thanks in no small part to what I learned from your mom. You could have been a part of it all. Well, hold on. Could have. Are we already at it's too late? Yeah, that's a winner. We are totally gonna kill this. If she doesn't kill it first. Well, that's not great. I spoke too soon on the killing it. I mean... Yeah, that's... Goodbye. Goodbye, interaction. She really ruined that for us. Your mother was an inspiration to us all, especially me. Such a shame for the apple to fall so far from the tree. Marquez might mean well, but she's just so pushy. Also, I don't think she does mean well. Still, her remarks raise an eyebrow. What is her history with Mom? I'm starting to worry that we're never going to find out. Also, these cards are garbage, and I do not want any of them. Unfortunately, we cannot avoid being affected by people, right? It's not an optional thing. Well, we could just replace this with double circle or double triangle, and it'd probably be okay. Can I look at the map? No, I can't. I don't know what symbols to expect in Hara, right? I think that would probably help with this decision a lot. We're pretty short on circle if we double triangle this, so I'm going to do it like this. Yeah, not happy with any of it, obviously. I should have double triangled. I feel bad about it. Alright, Irat's surrounded by fans. Seems like things are going okay for him. Up ahead, a crowd gathers along the road. You're used to Pachenko's street art attracting onlookers, but with the outdoor exhibitions damaged by the quake, you can't help but wonder what the fuss is about. Salutations, friend! You've arrived just in time for my afternoon lecture. Fortuitous! He's doing lectures now? Well, that's right. Not rain, nor snow, nor quake can stop the train of knowledge from leaving the station. Just so happens I know a thing or three about trains, and even more about art stuff. Is he swindling people? Is this a grift? I'm surprised to see him with circles. His symbols did not say that he had circles. Besides color, there's nothing like perspective to make a composition compelling. It's all about taking risks. That's how you stand out from the crowd, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what he's doing right now. That's what I like to call the risk factor, yeah! This is not the turn I saw his story taking, to be honest with you. And besides the risk factor, you've also got to know your audience. I call that the desirability index. The formula for success is your risk factor multiplied by your desirability index. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, give me something. What can I work with here? I can work with that pretty easily. This card is a lifesaver. Yo, if we get to take his other double triangle prepare, I will absolutely just put it over top of the double circle. Could I have a word with my friend here in private? Thank you all. Okay, it looks like we're alone. Whew. You'd probably never have guessed, but I have no idea what I'm doing here. Oh, I'm shocked. Back in Akka, people kept telling me, fake it till you make it. How am I supposed to know when that is? Yo, for a bit of throwaway dialogue, that's remarkably insightful. You reassure Irat that he's doing great before letting him get back to his lesson. The sound of applause follows you as you leave him to shine on. Yep, reversing what I feel like was a mistake that we made just a moment ago. And I guess it's time to head to Hara, right? Place is somehow connected to the circle. Maybe we're about to actually learn something. Are going to get a fatigue, which I'm a little bummed about. An abandoned city built into a series of canyons. Well, let's see if there's anything here for us. I wonder if it's possible to get here before the last trip. Nameless. The lonely, hollow buildings of Hara are an oppressive reminder of what happens when the aquifers go dry. The decaying structures and empty streets have been given over to the wind and desert rodents. And here we have a reclusive hermit, unbothered by the world, we assume, based on the way he's sitting, I guess. Hara is even quieter than you imagined, its tall buildings crowding the horizon like so many giant tombstones. Up ahead, a solitary figure sits cross-legged by the roadside, the only other living person all the way out here. Blessed paths, traveler. Oh, that locket. That brings back memories. I haven't seen that since Pachenko. Alright, well, I'm not exactly shocked that this dude knows our mom. Let's go into the triangles. I'm sure he'll be able to build off of this, and we'll take you. Yeah, man, prepare. Double triangle prepare is a really good card for us. It was your mother's, I see. Your mother, she founded the circle in Pachenko, as did I. You must already know to come all the way out here. I imagine you've heard unflattering tales. I feel like I haven't heard anything at all substantial. I'm not the person I was back then, not in name nor character. But the circle certainly led to who I am now. Our mission was simple, to fill the world with beauty. Unfortunately, this world has a way of making simple things complex. I tried to keep the circle whole, to keep profits from entering the equation. Our art was supposed to enrich the world, not make us rich. Yeah, it never does quite work out the way you want, huh? Well, I think I'm gonna feed him this. Okay, that works. I wonder if it'll still be his turn after this, because of the listen. Trade, commerce, and savvy brought Pachenko to life and filled it with wonder. For a time, this was enough. The trouble began when the circle set its sights on Hara. Once a metropolis, Hara's water all but dried up, leaving it in sharp decline. Population dwindling, we imagined that with a large investment, Hara could be restored. And the circle's sphere of influence could expand. So we struck a deal with the Rilkers. Your mom and young Marquez were its strongest proponents. Of course, the Rilkers had no intention of saving Hara. What they wanted were rare metals buried deep in the earth below the city. They threw out the stragglers, and what remained of Hara was stripped, gutted. But not before they paid us handsomely. That was when I knew we had gone too far. Ooh, that's not great for me. Let's go... In theory, he has triangles, right? We'll put this up and we'll grab, yeah, this thing. Maybe I should have just grabbed the other... I should have grabbed the other prepare. That was probably a mistake. Do I trouble you? Okay. Good enough, I suppose. I'm going to go ahead and burn our single-use accord here to make sure that this interaction goes off. Well, it turns out we didn't need it. Dude knows a thing or two about grief. Greed, excess. I left when the founders turned on one another. I gave up my possessions, my relationships, even my own name. Your mother, she did the same, to an extent. Conflict made us seek new lives, unforeseen. These aren't the answers you wanted, I imagine. I hope you lived enough for that to feel familiar. Bless your path. That's pretty grim, there. I hope you've lived enough for that to feel familiar. He's not wrong. You've grown accustomed to the challenges inherent in uncovering the past. Heading deeper into Hara, you wonder what else the silent remains of the city might have seen over the years, and how, in the end, all that's left are mysteries. There are elements of this game that are definitely more reminiscent of Disco Elysium than I was expecting when we began. Boy, what do we want to... I mean, the double circle clarify is certainly not bad. Would we replace this? I don't think I want to lose my pair of prepares. I think they're both quite good. So at this point, probably losing a fourth double triangle card isn't that big of a deal, considering we also have an accommodate. No matter what we did, it was going to downgrade our deck. It's deep in meditation, absent, and that's it, huh? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I was hoping that we were going to get a little bit more substantial rewards there, in sort of like a video gamey sense. It's hard to say we didn't get what we came for, though, in the sense of answers. We understand some things about Mom's past, which I really appreciate. Tomas is the only person in Clifton, because Alexis will be in Bukumboro by now. How do we want to run this? We probably don't need to go to Longgate. There is this guy here, though. His cards are awfully good. Alright, I think my plan is Clifton to Anka to Bukumboro. That shouldn't be too long. We shouldn't be too exhausted by the time we get there. And that should give us, first of all, some closure with some more characters. I definitely need to talk to Alexis before we call it here. And then also that should, hopefully, fingers crossed, should end up with us having a fair number of things for the store. And then from Bukumboro we can head east and try to connect to some places we haven't connected to very well in the past. Alright, to Clifton. We're just trailing behind the caravan at this point. Come across a roadhouse packed with travelers. Choose a card to gain Elaborate. Oh, Elaborate's so good. I mean, it's this one, right? It's the one that doesn't yet have a symbol. You share. Each traveler attempts to outdo the last with increasingly fantastical tales. You share one of Mom's about the time she fended off stormwalkers as a storm engulfed Pachenko. I would like to hear that story because I'm real curious what a stormwalker is. It is nice to be talking to people without a huge number of fatigue cards. Your arrival is slowed by the steady flow of families and merchants making their way to Clifton. Many of the neighboring communities did not have the resources to rebuild. Though the atmosphere on the road is solemn, the market is bustling once again. We may have really helped Tomas out by advocating for him to move here, or rather, sort of indirectly, I kind of incepted the idea of moving here. The market is vibrant, with only a hint of previous landslides. Spotted birds squawk indignantly from their cages, and the smell of cinnamon wafts with the prevailing wind. One of the stalls sells paintings, and the dramatic style is oddly familiar. Also, you can tell from all the cats. Hi, can I interest you in a portrait of a silk weaver? Oh, it's my first customer. Please remember who I am. Tomas, how could I possibly forget you? You total little weirdo. Alright, let's throw that up. Interesting. Not what I was hoping for. I moved to Clifton to see how new audiences respond to my work. Hopefully they weren't just being polite. Everyone from Pachenko was so nice about my leaving. I can't believe I was just being anxious for nothing. Or do they secretly hate me? I've been there, dude. I hear where you are coming from at the moment. Alright, if we gotta break something, let's at least give him a circle to work with and hope he plays a circle into triangle. Or maybe I should just go ahead and drop a prepare. You know what? I'm gonna break it with the prepare. And we're gonna grab this guy. You do remember who I am, right? So even when we're mismatching, he's still trying to be nice about it. My dude, you've got to chill on the circles. Alright, well, I mean, we better take this or he's gonna completely destroy this interaction for us. Do you hate me? I mean, hey, that's a big step up for him, asking a question like that in a direct way. Alright, we have a chance here. The Accord's a good start. I don't know how I'll repay Marquez for all the money she spent on my move, but I can try. You know I wouldn't worry about it too much. I wanted to thank you for buying my painting and not running away screaming during our other conversations. Yeah. So... this is going to be tricky. I think the only way we can really do this... We have two choices. I can do this and hope that he has a spiral. And then he can basically just complete the interaction by himself. Or we could play this, which gives us a circle on the right side, but then if he plays like circle, circle or something, then we're probably in a lot of trouble. I'm gonna... ooh, boy. I'm actually really torn, and I'd like for this interaction to go well. This is the last time we'll get to talk to him, most likely, so... we know he's gonna play circles, though. He's always playing circles. I wish I could see what was in my deck. Wish I'd been keeping track, counting my cards enough. Because we do have some cards that have circle on the left side. I'm gonna go for this. I think this is more likely to work out. Tell me you got a spiral, my dude. Okay. Ooh. Since you travel a lot, maybe one of the smaller paintings will be easier for you to carry around. I have a series of square landscapes here. You say goodbye to Tomas, who seems to have grown into his own ambitions. At least he doesn't shrink back when he talks to the other customers. Yeah, man, that's progress. Good for him. I think we're gonna not change anything. I feel like we got a little bit lucky there. I'm happy to see that things are going well for him. I think we want to do this Anka to Bukumboro thing, right? Because the railroad will make this leg of it super fast. So we're in Anka with only a second fatigue. That's not so bad. Movement catches your eye off the road in the distance. Choose a card to sacrifice. So... this is the worst card in my deck, I think? Ooh. I don't think that was a great one. Anka seems to have returned to its bustling, if not quite welcoming, self. With the trains running, the rebuilding efforts have made great strides, and many shops are reopening for the first time. Let's spend some time with Thunder. He's enjoying all the new smells. Thunder eagerly bounds down from the truck cab, enticed by the strange smells of the city. A passing bus startles him, and he looks to you for approval. Buddy, it's just a bus. You're gonna be okay. Yeah. Oh, good. Growl at the bus. Please don't make me feel like you might try to fight it. You know what? We're just gonna take a moment here and listen. I knew that was gonna pay off. A pat on the head reassures him. Thunder runs through the alley, sniffing around and sticking his head into various piles of refuse. Surprisingly, he returns with scrap. Okay, well I feel pretty good about that, and it cleared a fatigue. Like, that was awesome. What a good interaction. Alright, let's see how, I can't remember her name now. Let's see how Mimi has been affecting Lil Basilio's upbringing while we've been gone. Lil Basilio and his pals are hanging out in an alley when they spot you and signal you over. As you approach, Aiken, Blake, and Pale Dale pat you down. I'm not... okay, it's fine. Whatever. Yo, Pale Dale and I had a staring contest earlier, and it was hella fun. I'm the reigning champ. You think you could beat me? Where did this little kid learn to say hella? What is the date? Here. Alright, that's a pretty good start. It does look like things might get a little bit rougher from here, though. Man, we were so close. We were so close to completing that line. Give me... Yeah, give me the other prepare. In theory, he should have some triangles. We could probably play this. Stop talking and look directly into my eyes. I'm uncomfortable with this. You're a weird kid. So he's just gonna screw us over and over again, I guess. Let's try, give me this. I thought we were supposed to be in the middle of a staring contest. You remember that I didn't agree to that, right? Oh, that's a shame. No, that's not how it's supposed to happen. Don't look away yet. As soon as you break eye contact with Little Basilio, you realize, while he had you distracted, Aiken, Blake, and Pale Dale were trying to pickpocket you. Busted and empty-handed, the three of them take off running as Big Basilio rounds the corner. So it seems like we haven't really changed him for the better at all. I think I would rather have one of these over a second one of these things, just because it's hard to play with the circle. And Big Basilio is bringing us some parts. Hey buddy, how you doing? Big Basilio stops beside you, out of breath. He doesn't greet you with his usual enthusiasm. Dang, Lil Basilio is faster than he looks, I'll give him that. Hey, real sorry about all that. He's still got a lot to learn. And, well, he's not the only one. What does that mean? Okay, I dig that. I can respect that move. I make that move a lot. Mimi reminded me that at Lil Basilio's age, I wouldn't listen to anyone either. Oh yeah, Mimi. She came back to Anka. Isn't that awesome? Oh yeah, I wonder how that happened. Anyway, I'll never stop looking out for Lil Basilio, but some lessons he's got to learn on his own. According to Mimi, I was the same back in the day. I wouldn't listen to no one, had to figure out everything myself. Jeez, I must have been a pain. Yeah, I mean, sort of kids in general, right? Give me the other prepare. I'm so good at triangles. I'm a little torn, actually. I guess we should pick up some triangles, because we already have square if he plays square. Let's do this. Now, I'm still worried about Lil Basilio, but I guess the difference is I'm not alone now. I've got Mimi, neighbors, a whole community. Heck, you, an outsider? Pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to help create for them some kind of feeling of community. And now we've got the railroad back up and running, I'm going to give the whole legit thing another go. Now you make sure you come for visits, and I'll make sure I have a sweet selection of spare parts ready to go. Boy, I sure hope everybody who comes to our shop really wants spare electronics parts, because that is all we are going to have. You know what, I'm just going to do this. I'm sure he'll be able to play off that. I'm still hoping Lil Basilio will come around in the end, but I'm not holding my breath. Again, I'm real sorry about what he did. Here, have some spare parts on the house. Thanks for always hearing me out. I think he was a good character to get along with. Big Basilio can't hide his worry, but he seems confident about the future in spite of it. Boy, so what do we want to take from this? I certainly don't want to drop a prepare. I'm wondering if maybe we just replace the elaborate double square with this. Or maybe even we replace the double spiral with the double square? We certainly don't need another double triangle. I'm gonna do this. I know it seems like everybody still has spiral symbols, but Mimi is talking with a group of young unkins. There's a small patch of earth in a narrow alley surrounded by a makeshift fence. Mimi works the soil and waves when she sees you. A sign reads, Community Garden. It's always a bit disorienting going back somewhere you used to call home. Everything's the same but different, all at the same time. I've been writing to Theo since coming back here. I wonder if he'd ever consider leaving the Oasis. I wonder if we had gone to the Oasis, I wonder if we could have assisted with that. Well, this is a pretty bad start. She might have something to play off of this that seems dangerous. You know what, let's do this. And we'll grab... this thing, maybe? So we have another triangle already. She might play some square. Yeah, let's grab this. And we'll just hope she plays off of this well. Perhaps you're not overly fond of your home? I don't know. I don't necessarily know that we want to leave Bartow. Come on, yes, Accord. Sweet, sweet Accord. Alright, we might get through this yet. I don't blame him if not. It's going to take some getting used to, but I'm looking forward to it. Discovering something new about a place you once lived is like putting on an old pair of pants and finding a wad of cash in the back pocket. Like it was always there, just waiting for you to find it. I don't know that I necessarily agree. The same goes for people, too, especially old friends. Seeing Big Basilio after all this time is a treat. I'm so proud of him, turning his life around, looking out for Lil Basilio. I'm sure that last thing can't be easy. Okay, well this is looking quite promising. Oh no! Ugh, she had to break that while also playing a square, huh? That's a real bummer, man. Well, I should be getting on. You know, so much to do and so little time. Don't be a stranger now. You know, as for a discordant result, that was pretty pleasant. You decide to let Mimi get back to her work. She's a gifted conversationalist, but you're not in the mood for a meandering recollection today. Let's not change anything here. Well, I do feel like this is going better than the beginning part of some of our days recently has. Ah, that's a shame. Just on the other side of a fatigue. Well, I think we want to... Oh. No one's in Ramina. Maybe that changes my plans? Because I was thinking I wanted to have another chance to talk to that android. Maybe we go out to the canals instead and then come back to Bukumboro if... Yeah, let's do that. We'll just try this out. Come across a roadhouse packed with travelers. Choose a card to gain Observe. This card's not necessarily useful in that many circumstances. Is there something else I would like to put the Observe on? No, you know what? I think I'm gonna just go ahead and put it there. I have this terrible feeling, like things are starting to turn around on us in a real bad way. The floodwaters have mostly receded, but the repairs have a long way to go. You take your time navigating carefully around small ponds and washed-out roads. She stands next to a line of picketing robots. Behind her, the Rilker Farms logo has a simple message painted over it. Unionize! Hell yeah! I wonder how she feels about this. Oh, hello. I've rewritten my programming since our last conversation. I am no longer a loyal employee. I wonder if we had anything to do with that? I mean, I kind of hope so. Maybe I accidentally made her realize that she can't work with humans by being so incredibly disagreeable at all times. If you're here to work, you should reevaluate your decision. Rilker Farms does not treat its workers well. Alright, so this card's probably going to be a reasonable play here, right? In the recent flood, several workers lacked appropriate protocol and drowned. The Rilkers did not assist. Okay, that's a pretty decent draw. I don't think she's going to be able to play off of this, but maybe she'll surprise us? No sense in not playing it, right? You have no standing to give advice. Yeah, no, that's my bad. You're definitely right about that. Okay, that's fine. I can re-accord. We might get through this yet. We also had a human worker not provided with adequate food, clothing, and socialization. I can't locate him. Oh, I wonder if she's talking about that guy with the mustache? Well, he was in Aldhurst, right? But they were clearly going to kick him out because for some reason everybody in Aldhurst had become convinced that, well, we don't need to get into their bullshit. I submitted a report to the Rilker family suggesting corrections to their time-tested values. I did not receive a response. Okay, that's very promising. Okay, good time for an accord. It's always a good time for an accord, it turns out. If you see any Rilkers, tell them the farm is now in the hands of the workers. They can resume operations on our terms. Rilkers live in Old Moray, in a tall tower that stands above its citizens. There might be Rilker representatives on the road south. Security, probably. Okay, well this plotline has sort of worked out, right? Maya leads the other workers in a pro-union chant, a memorial for their drowned comrades that places the blame on the Rilker Farms Corporation. When she says drowned comrades, I wonder if she means that robot that we were not successful in interacting with last time. Oscar was his name, I think? I think I want to just replace one of my existing double squares with this one. And I think I'd rather lose the elaborate than the observe. I do like having an observe. Alright, well, one more chance to go to Old Moray. Do we want to drive out to Grey Cambit? It is only one day each way. Let's get ourselves a little bonus of some kind. The road runs along a long, calm coastline. A smattering of huts dot the shore. You spot shellfishers far out on the mudflats, alone or in pairs, up to their knees in the muck. And we just, take a moment here. You relax, watching as the tide slowly chases the shellfishers into the shore. It reminds you of the stories Mom used to tell about her childhood, and you feel some of your fatigue melt away. That's got to have been worth the 2 days, right? Yeah, we would have gotten this fatigue either way, so we are going to end up one fatigue shorter. And we'll arrive while the caravan's there. That's interesting. I wonder if Nadine will have anything to say to us. And a roadhouse. As the rain and wind batter the shelter, one fellow goes on and on about his stay at another roadhouse. You realize he means Samuel's place, but he's gotten the details all wrong. I see no reason to have a blank card. Who knows, Clarify Double Square might actually turn out to be useful. The waters around the towers of Old Moray are filled with the remnants of sunken homes and destroyed shops. A lost doll, a broken table, a tangled mess of sodden clothes. The sounds of angry crowds float across the water. Hey, Klaus is here. She's behind bars, for now. Let's talk to her first. Klaus, now equipped with a shiny new prosthetic arm attached to her right shoulder, sits cross-legged in the middle of her jail cell, calm as a cucumber. She grins as she sees you approaching, clearly up to something. Gee, I wonder how she ended up in jail. I deserve to be behind these bars, not for committing the crime itself. After all, what's the harm in looting a town that's literally floating away? She deserves to be here for other reasons, she feels. Alright, well, you know what we're grabbing. The other prepare. Alas, no. The reason I deserve to be here is because I was careless enough to get caught. See, she's very disappointed in herself. I see you eyeing my new bionic appendage. It's the latest model. very height of technology and whatnot. And what do you think of it? I mean, it looks cool. Oh, I like this. This is a good, strong setup. This one. Oh no, actually, we have the option of taking the other prepare, because our deck reshuffled. Oh, well, that's a shame, though. Sure, it looks nice. The metal alloy is at least strong enough for tunneling purposes, not irrelevant to my current situation. But the infernal thing is the whole reason I got locked up in the first place. Did you steal someone's arm? Perhaps, though, that is a story for another time. Far away from here? Speaking of which, there's a fire alarm over there that's just beyond my reach. Mind giving it a little pull on my behalf? You know, I'm realizing I keep referring to Klaus as female, basically just because of the hair, but have we ever actually had an indication of Klaus's gender? The name is definitely masculine, or at least I'm only familiar with men named Klaus. I might be making some unfair assumptions here. We're going to go prepare. If we got to break this, let's break it this way. And we will grab that double circle, double triangle. Or the other prepare? I mean, it could be really good. Or we might end up with Klaus playing another circle at us. You're here, but I didn't ask you to come. Look, I'm just trying to help, alright? Okay, there we go. That's pretty much guaranteed to be a winner. We've never had an interaction go south with Klaus, have we? Thanks a million. You know, perhaps this whole partner thing has its merits after all. I won't tell you that I'm headed over to Anka once I get out of here, but I wouldn't deny it either. Interesting. Flashing you a conspiratorial smile, Klaus nods her head. Okay, yes, we have seen pronouns. And tugs her ear twice. You return the gesture and find the fire alarm. Within moments of pulling it, Klaus has vanished. Is that a good thing that we did there or not? I'm actually not sure. Interesting. I don't like any of these cards, and none of them are going to help us with Gull in a moment here, so we shouldn't replace anything that has a square or a diamond on it, because I think we're going to have a hard enough time with this interaction as it is. Let's take this and maybe we do overwrite one of the prepares? To be perfectly honest, if we weren't about to talk to Gull, I would replace this. I'm gonna overwrite one of the prepares as much as I do love them. Or maybe it's this thing. I like the listen mechanic a lot, though. I'm actually really torn. I'm gonna drop this one. If I drop this, then we have nothing that has a spiral on the left side. Sorry, I know this is... Let's watch a man stare at a menu. I'm gonna replace one of the prepares. I would definitely not do this if we weren't about to talk to Gull. Alright, Gull. Same as she ever was. She'll go down with the ship. Gull blasts her siren and signals for you to pull over. She appears more fatigued than the last time you saw her. Stop! Pull over! Put your license and registration out where I can see them. Oh, you again. What are you doing back in Old Moray? Yeah, it's a fair question. I could see why you might not be super happy to see me. Okay, remarkably, this worked out. Should I... No, we shouldn't break prepare. Because we can have her start pushing this accord forward. I'm definitely, like, in a kind of a rough position for this next line, though. These days, people are leaving town faster than they're entering it. It makes my job easier, but a lot more boring. Since the riot, things have only gotten worse for this city. You're not here to make trouble, are you? Well, I guess that kind of depends on how this interaction goes. Good. I'm starting to think people don't take the Rilker badge seriously anymore. Yeah, gee, why might that be? Okay, that's pretty good for us. We get to dump a bunch of bad cards. Ooh. These are only marginally better cards. Alright, I'm hoping she lets us in and we can maybe talk to the Rilkers. It's going to take a while, but law and order will be restored to Old Moray someday. That is, if it's not completely underwater by then. Gull grits her teeth, picks her chin up, and waves you on. Okay, interesting. What do I think we might need? If we're actually going to get to talk to a Rilker here, what do I think we might need for that? My guess is... What, we're talking about like a big business triangle square, maybe? Industrious, the way you define the word industrious could really lend itself to that, I suppose. I'm debating just taking the double square and replacing this. But you know what? Let's do this instead. Oh, no, I guess no interaction to be had. Well, there's no reason for us to go to Ramina. Do you still want to get back to Bukumboro? We could go to Aldhurst, but I don't know that we need to. How long is this road? So I think let's go back to Anka, and then to Bukumboro, and then we'll decide whether we want to go out to Aldhurst or not. We don't necessarily have to. Honestly, we could drive to the Desert Oasis. Maybe we could convince Theo to go back to Anka. You come across a roadhouse. Each traveler takes a turn telling a story to pass the time. You repeat one of Mom's about a hidden garden in the desert. A native of the area pokes holes in it, and you backtrack in embarrassment. Oh hey, let's get some backtrack. What do I want to replace here? To be perfectly honest with you, the symbol that we have that I think is the weakest is probably the chatter. Maybe we make a double triangle that has backtrack on it? Yeah, I think I like that. That at least lets me to fall back to my own triangles. Also, for some reason, Ramir is here now. Let's start by talking to Klaus. Or... No, I think things are going so well with Klaus, I want to talk to Ramir first to pick up a card that might be good with Klaus. You can't help but admire the sheer ease of Ramir's swagger as he slides up to the table. He flashes you a fiendish grin as he's dealt in, like a panther about to pounce on unsuspecting prey. Gambling rules. You want to know why? I'll tell you. It's the closest it gets out here to true living. You want to win big, you gotta take equally big risks, even though the game's rigged against you from the start. I don't know if I necessarily... Okay, you know what, he's not gonna listen to my advice. You do you, Ramir. Let's grab the double triangle back. I wonder if, actually... So we have a fatigue in our hand already. Maybe we want to pick up our reconsider, even though we might have a hard time using it with him. I'm gonna grab this. Alright. So he does have some circles. It is potentially the case that the listen in our hand is not dead. And if you want to win, in the end, you got no choice but to play the hand you're dealt as best you can, or walk away a loser. But me, I'm no loser, and you know what? I'm pretty sure you aren't either. That's the nicest thing he's ever said to us. The thing is, no matter what you do, you can't ever be truly sure of anything, like 100% sure. I mean, not really. You can guess all you want, but you're still just guessing. The point is, when it comes down to it, you gotta take a risk if you want to grow. Okay, yeah, I basically agree with all that. Hey, that's a pretty good card. I also want to play it. This is really lining up for us. Oh, look, that's why life on the road suits me. Every day's different, every day's a new shot. You won't get that hanging around a 2-bit town like Bartow. Yeah, I've been trying not to think too much about what this means for, like... I think the way we built our character, we kind of fit into Ramir's philosophy pretty well here. The version of the character we built feels like they belong on the road, and I think that's going to be a sad time with Elias. I guess I don't know if the game has multiple endings. I don't know if it's going to adjust the ending based on what we did or what our deck looks like. I mean, I guess we'll find out. Plus, Railroad's back in business, which means so am I. I don't want to jinx myself, but I gotta say, it feels good to have some prospects besides the skin of my teeth. Yeah, what must that be like? Alright, well that really worked out in the end. And I like how developed Ramir's deck has become. Of course, sometimes you got a killer hand and the dealer still hits 21, so I'm staying on my toes, keeping my options open. You should do the same. Now you're full of surprises. The card's got nothing on you. As long as I'm around, I won't let you forget it either. Wow, that got downright sweet at the end. Ramir wins a lot more hands than he loses, each momentary setback only seeming to make him more bold. Once he's satisfied, he picks up the tab for a warm meal. The two of you share some good laughs. We made that's like a real friendship going on there. Ooh, it's hard not to take a prepare. Let's overwrite this. I don't want to take any triangles or circles out of our deck right now, because of the interaction we're about to have. We could just overwrite this. Hey, if we're thinking we might go to Aldhurst, maybe I want to hold on to some diamonds. Yeah, I'm gonna do this, I guess. I like Observe and everything, but I don't know that we had a better option there. Klaus scans the busy streets of Anka, keeping a watchful eye for law enforcement. She fidgets with her new prosthetic arm, occasionally letting out a string of profanities, frustrated by the appendage's lack of precision. Thanks for your help back in Old Moray. I would have been able to handle it on my own, but still, the two of us make quite the pair, don't you think? Yeah, I don't know what it says about me, but yeah, you're totally right. Alright, let's prepare ourselves up an Accommodate? A lot of the cards in our deck actually aren't very good for talking with her. Okay, well that works out pretty well. I'm still kicking myself for getting caught in the first place, though. I blame this damn prosthetic arm. It's just nowhere near precise enough to be executing at my level of work. Let's accommodate off of that. Okay, yeah, I wanted to make sure we still had a circle on the left in our hand. And it's only slowing me down at this point, throwing off my balance, interfering with my sleight of hand, and drawing way too much attention from onlookers. Also, apologies for the loud dog in the other room. I think I'll be much better off without it. I don't know. Feels like having an arm is maybe, well, I guess she knows best. I was gonna say, it feels like having an arm is, useful. That's a useful thing. Yeah, with this little fiasco resolved and me back to my old self again, next month is sure to bring a way more successful haul. I'm already planning something big. I have mixed feelings about this. I have mixed feelings about having this information. Fingers crossed? Okay. I'm a very good listener, it turns out. What is it, you ask? Oh, that would be spoiling. Klaus rips off her prosthetic arm and tosses it into the trash. She tugs her ear twice and smiles, then bounds off into the alleys of Anka, on the hunt for some prey. Do I feel good having unleashed her on this place? I don't know. Boy. What do we want to do here? We still might try to go to Aldhurst, and if we do, the double diamond card will be useful. I mean, maybe we just replace the backtrack double triangle with the other double triangle. Is that the least bad of our options? We could, of course, swing in the double spiral instead. I feel like people... I don't know if this was an intentional design decision or not. If it is, it definitely makes a certain kind of cool sense. It feels like people don't, at this point, month on from the earthquake, they don't reveal the grieving to us, but they have it, and if we bring it up, they play off of it. So maybe another card with Spiral on the left side isn't really that important to have. I'm going to do this. Because otherwise we have two cards that are double triangle plus the accommodate. Yeah, I don't want to reduce our double triangle supply too much. Nadine is busy helping those who don't stray from the caravan. Okay, have I doomed us by straying from the caravan and pissing off Nadine right before the decision has to be made? I don't know. Nadine's not the only one who gets a call, right? Let's, I almost want to do that. The thing is, it's so fast to get back to Bukumboro this way. And then we have plenty of time to get to Aldhurst. Yeah, we can't... And my concern is that if we do Desert Oasis, it's going to be such a long drive from there to Bukumboro. We'll have, like, multiple extra fatigue. I want to try to get our last interaction with Alexis right, if possible. Also, I wonder if Matilda is going to have feelings about... Like, is she going to know we were involved with the robbery? A bored child races your truck on her bike. A number of townsfolk watch as your truck passes by, but the distant sound of a train approaching is of far more interest to the residents of Bukumboro. Also, apparently Miriam died. A recent arrival, she found herself right at home, befriending neighbors and uplifting the community. She will be sorely missed. Matilda will hold a service in the town center. Well, that's a bummer. I guess we probably ought to go to that. The funeral takes place on a sunny day, so Miriam's weeping admirers have to provide the rain. After Matilda's final words, the guests shuffle into Miriam's old chocolate store to drink and feast. But Matilda invites you for a walk. Oh god, she does know, doesn't she? I didn't lie to Miriam, you know. All of her readings were joyful. I saw the whale, an oak tree, even the unbroken comet. Okay, she's way too tied up in her own stuff. That's probably good news for us, as grim as that is. Well, I bet she has some spirals, and also it feels really appropriate to listen at this moment. Oh, now she's throwing it back on me. No, you listen. That's a real shame. I guess I played this? Because my hand is bad? Boy, I don't know. No, we play this because the backtrack will keep us alive into that. It's like the first time we've actually used backtrack. I kind of want to take the listen again. I don't know what else. I'm gonna take the listen again. My guess is she has a lot of spirals. Not a great time to play it though. So if we play this, it'll complete this interaction and guarantee a mismatch on the other side, probably. But then we can probably play into this. Like, I don't want to play this when there's no space to listen. Maybe I'm just no good at sadness. I read that we were supposed to have rain today, but I even managed to chase the clouds away. You know, it's not a bad thing that there wasn't rain. I guess that's not a horrible quality to have. We're gonna need a lot of hope around this place. A lot of new people are coming in by railroad. Ooh, circles. Well, you know what? Circle's not too bad. I have an accommodate. Death. It's so heavy, you know? Yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. Let's do this and hope she has a triangle. Okay. She's got it. I'm screwing this whole conversation up, but she's carrying. I think Bukumboro will be okay. There's got to be more people like Miriam in the world that want to come here. I really hope Bukumboro's going to be okay. If the railroad wasn't reopened, then maybe I never would have met Miriam. And we got to take care of it, no matter what. She's handling this really well, actually. Oh, she didn't have the ability to follow up on her own thought. That's a shame. Maybe we should head back. Yeah. How unfortunate. Too many triangles and spirals. Am I upsetting you? Sorry, it's just... I wish I had a little more time with her is all. She was a good lady. Grief is the prevailing emotion of the day, and it's difficult to talk about anything else. You know, that doesn't feel totally inappropriate, though. Also, that's exactly the kind of day where you might have an interaction go south, because people just don't have it in them to be too happy. I think I'm going to overwrite our blank double triangle with a reconsider. I think we're going to have a lot of circle conversations from here for the rest of the game. I guess maybe I want to... Do I think we're going to need square again at all? I bet we aren't. Yeah, we got Alexis, and then if we go to Aldhurst, it's going to be circles and diamonds, and then when we get back home, I'm sure Elias will want to talk. We probably want to keep double circle. Sort of mentally preparing ourselves for the conversations ahead. Which feels very familiar to me, because I feel like when I know that I'm going to have to deal with people, I often do have to kind of, like, mentally practice a little bit. Unexpectedly, you pick out a familiar face among the crowd. It's none other than Alexis. Based on their stall, complete with bright new umbrella, they appear to have bounced back. My most trusted customer. Yes, the rumors are true. I'm afraid I've left Clifton behind me. Okay, short lines, but still a lot of symbols to be earned here. And not a great start, honestly. I'm gonna lead with this. I don't want to play the reconsider just yet. Does something trouble you? Okay, that works. Listen, Alexis will just blow right through it. I can be as uncomfortable as I want. Alexis will fill the space. I have a friend or two like this, and actually very helpful. The competition isn't so fierce here in Bukumboro, but that won't be the case in a few weeks. Do they know something specific, or are we just talking about knowing people will come in by train here? Oh, listen to me ramble. How does Bartow fare? Perhaps you should move too. It's a thought. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Let's grab you for sure. Actually, no. I probably want to do this now. I'm trying to build a proper safety net out here for myself. You know, something that can endure a disaster or two. I'm having trouble finding sustainable growers around here, too. Many don't take proper care of their bees. Wait, what are you selling now? I mean, they're still holding crickets, right? Oh, all that ruckus over there is about a funeral. That's a shame. I was wondering why my sales were so slow. You wish Alexis luck, but don't think they'll need it. For whatever quirks they might have, they're remarkably adaptable to circumstances good and bad. That's someone you can look forward to doing business with. Roasted nuts. Huh, I guess they're still in the roasted nuts business too. Well, no reason to keep a blank double triangle. That's a bummer, man. Alright, I think we may as well go to Aldhurst. How long would it be to get to the Desert Oasis? It would take us to day 44, and that would be the last thing we could do, probably. I mean, we could go to Longgate, I guess. Do we want to? If I go to Aldhurst, Lars and what's-her-face, who turns out to be kind of a dickhead. You know what? Let's go to Longgate. Let's go to Desert Oasis and then Longgate. I want to talk to Theo one more time. Maybe we can tell him that Mimi is thinking of him. That might be very welcome news. And if we were gonna do Desert Oasis, I probably should have done this in the opposite order. I don't know. I think talking with Alexis was maybe more important. Travelers stroll the paths that ring the oasis, protected from the desert sun by leafy palms and hanging awnings. Sounds and smells spill from open doorways into the common spaces of the oasis, welcoming and gentle. Theo's leaned back in his wheelchair, chewing on a dried thought. So we have made our deck a little bit worse at talking to him. As you approach the fruit stand, you catch Theo in a private moment of reflection as he watches the sun start to set over the desert oasis sky. Just like my fruit, life gets better with age. Don't you think? If I'm being honest, hasn't really been... Ooh, wow. Hasn't really been my experience so far. This is horrible. I mean, I guess let's... I know that's going to be a double mismatch, but at least I get to draw a new hand. Agree to disagree, I guess. Here in Desert Oasis, time works different than it does in other places. He's saying he's on island time. Okay, we're just going to have to tough it out from here. They don't call them the golden years for nothing. You gotta go out and make the most of them. You know, like gold. Alright, give me... yes, triangles. This card's good now that my hand isn't all fatigue. That's also pretty good for us. The exterior may grow tough and leathery, hard to chew for some, but inside the flavors become more complex, nuanced even. I'm having a really hard time getting back into the groove of the cadence I was doing for him. The only thing is, I've forgotten that life is sort of like my fruit in another way, too. Full of seeds, you mean, I get it. Accord. You know what, actually, let's accord off this. If he pushes the accord, okay. We may well get out of this conversation yet. Well, if you're not careful, one day you might turn around and realize it's all dried up. Okay. Alright, I'll accept that answer. I've been at this game for a long time, friend. Thinking it might be time to try something new while I still can. Well, do I have an idea for you? So... it's so hard to know what's going to be good for him, unfortunately. I think we want to chatter into... ooh. Off of double fatigue. Maybe we chattered into a redraw there. The thing is, we have this... I'm gonna do this. Show me square, Theo. I guessed wrong. Well, I guess that's just about enough philosophizing out of me for one day. That's a shame. Theo hangs a closed for the day sign over his stand and folds his arms, studiously ignoring you. He looks like he'd rather be anywhere else than here in front of you at this particular moment in time. He and I have not always gotten along. Boy, I don't know what to expect from the other dude. Let's take this over this listen. Do I think... I don't think that... I can't remember what he was calling himself. I don't think that our remaining conversational partner is likely to have spirals. But I guess he's not the only person left. You know what? I'm going to take it over this. I think we might be past Diamond. I'm bummed out that we didn't have a successful interaction with Theo there, because I really do think there's at least a chance that successfully interacting with him would have earned, would have given us the ability to tell him to go see Miriam, or see Mimi. We'll go to Longgate, and then we'll just end the game at the Oasis Gardens. Because this way we get to do this without taking on another fatigue. Anais, that's right. Past the desert oasis, past the caravan routes and desert encampments, the long gate marks the edge of the world. Beyond lies the long expanse, places that were only vague legends even for Mom. I think that might be the same text as the last time we were here. The night market is one of the few things that the residents of the Long Gate could consider their own. Artisans put out earthenware pottery and fire-sculpted glass. You catch a familiar figure examining the fried pork skewers. Oh yeah, we could use another good, too. That's a fair point. I had a feeling our paths would cross again. How fitting we should both find ourselves in this curious market, so many miles from home. Not a great start. Ugh. I'm gonna do this. Well, I have so much fatigue. Pitching over 2 fatigue is maybe not even a good idea. Let's grab... Chatter's probably not right. Let's take this. Hopefully he can play off that. I wasn't inviting an argument. Yeah, sorry, I've been out on the road for a while. I'm feeling grumpy. Okay, this works. Damn it, I was really hoping we were going to be able to make an accord happen there. Well, I think it's definitely time to redraw. Here, let's give him this to work with. He's still as good a conversationalist as ever, and I'm still screwing everything up. You missed the point. Yeah, that's my bad. That's definitely... that sounds like me all over. Okay, so I need to play this into this. Okay, well there's one. And then we die, because I don't have a square or a diamond. Come, let us experience the purity of this moment together, with our own eyes. As a fellow traveler, you must know how much the truth gets distorted in the retelling. Yeah, I mean, some truth gets maintained. A truth, usually. It's hard for most adventurers to risk life and limb for a place they know nothing about, certainly. Yep, and then everything's all terrible. I managed to screw up a conversation with the easiest person in the whole world to talk to. You seem bothered. You were an attentive audience, but Anais quickly becomes homesick. After that, it becomes difficult to talk about the long expanse. But we're at least offered some interesting cards here. I'm going to take this one. Because I want something that has circle, that has diamond and circle, or triangle and circle on it. And we're going to replace this guy, which I think is not going to be so good back home. Because really, I'm imagining at this point, all that's left is a conversation with Elias, right? May as well go see the Oasis Gardens. They're going to force me back home anyway. We managed to get a lot done here. We never did get to the Wave Dancer, though. Though much smaller than Desert Oasis, the hidden gardens here surprise you. Yeah, this is definitely familiar text. Choose a card to duplicate. It will replace another card in your deck. This one. Okay, that's fine. Once again, we're going to come home just so damn tired. Time to get teleported home. As you disembark from your long, tiresome journey, Nadine covertly pulls you aside. Uh-oh. This is not a good time for this interaction. I'm very tired. I've spoken with the other members of the caravan, and we've reached a decision. You're not gonna like it. Okay, well, I feel like that was the whole conversation right there, then. You just told me I'm not gonna like it. I'll just shut my mouth and listen for a while, huh? Our decision's been made. No point trying to convince us any further. I wonder what the meaningful distinction in this interaction going well versus going poorly is, you know? I'll do that. I'm sorry, but ultimately our quorum felt that Bartow just isn't pulling its weight anymore. It doesn't make sense for us financially or logistically to keep it on the route. And I'll be honest, pressure from the Rilkers was a strong factor too. The only reason we've held on for this long is because of an old promise I made to your mom. But with her gone and the town in decline, I really just can't justify it to the others for any longer. Oh, my hand. Okay. We gotta get real lucky from here. I hear where you're coming from. I wish there was more I could do. Oh. And then she botched it anyway. I don't know what more there is to say, except I'm sorry. What's done is done. Nadine stares at you with cold, emotionless eyes. After a tense moment of silence, she leaves you alone to grieve. It doesn't really sound like she was that interested in keeping us on. I wonder if you can actually resolve, like if that is actually possible for that to go the other way. Because this certainly feels on theme, doesn't it? Well, let's grab this over... This isn't ideal for talking to Elias, but it still plays well off of an accord. I'm wondering if we want to replace, like, one of these listens instead, maybe? We've really transformed our deck in a very short amount of time here. I'm gonna do this listen. Because like I said, it seems like people are not offering up the spirals. Elias is currently in a state of shock. Samuel looks free. Very free. Huh. Samuel looks a little listless as he sweeps the roadhouse steps. It smells like something delicious is cooking inside, but he appears to be alone. A slow day. Been a lot of them lately. Might have settled down some, but who knows if it'll ever get back to normal around here. I guess it gives me more time to sit and think. Oof. I feel like we're getting worse. Like, this is below expected value, right? We shouldn't be seeing... hands that are just fatigue all the time. Our deck is still less than half fatigue. You know, lately I've been thinking about how quiet it's been around here, and how much more quiet it's going to get when the caravan stops coming around. I'm pretty sure it's getting to be about time for me to move on to greener pastures. It's no pleasant prospect, but can't say as I see any other option. I'm tired of everyone's defeatism around here. Hey now, no need for that. Oh, that's a shame. I was really hoping he was going to play into whatever we drew there. Ah, shoot dang, there I go again. Well, this has just been a very rough pair of conversations. How's about we call it a day at that? Yeah, that's probably for the best. You leave Samuel to his thoughts. After all, he's not the only one with things to worry about. Yeah. Maybe we should take the spirals? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I do need to be more prepared about this. You know what? Elias is likely to be distressed. Yeah, I should totally take this. Currently in a state of shock, no less. You find Elias at the coffee shop, his face slack-jawed and pale. He barely even looks up to meet your gaze as you approach the counter. I take it you heard about Nadine's news. Yeah, me too. Oof. Maybe he can play off of this? Okay, alright, that's a start. We're getting absolutely murdered by these fatigue cards. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. You know I care about this store just as much as you do. Maybe even more. Okay, buddy. Watch it. But this doesn't have to be the end, does it? I mean, you've learned to fend for yourself out there, haven't you? Sort of. Kinda. Yeah. Oh my god. Look, I know you're hurting, but don't take it out on me. Okay, well, this is something at least. Things will be okay eventually, won't they? God, I sure wish that I could ever make these things go well. He's not going to be able to play off this. Yeah, we got super unlucky there. For it to happen 3 times in a row where we have a hand that's literally just fatigue cards, when the fatigue cards are only like 40% of our deck, that's very, very bad luck. You know, I've got my own problems to deal with here. You're only making things worse right now. Elias wipes his watery eyes and dries his hands on his barista apron. Head now held high, he goes back to work. I feel like we've been absolutely horrible with him. I'm gonna trade this out for an accommodate. Alright, let's unpack the truck and rest, and then I don't exactly know what's gonna happen. I mean, we got stuff. I feel like I've been getting stuff. I wonder if you can stay on the route, I wonder how many items you have to get each time in order to do so. It must be quite a few, right? Now that the caravan has cut ties with Bartow, the store's future in this town is looking grim. And perhaps it's time for a change. If Mom was able to create a whole new life for herself, surely you can too. You pack up your things and head out, running your hands over the empty shelves as you exit the store for the very last time. Your new shop looks much like the old one, only this one is filled to the hilt with merchandise and eager customers. One such patron enters, and after perusing for a minute or two, he turns to you. You recognize his face immediately. Wow, he looks a little different. Yeah, I heard rumors you were living out here now. Figured I'd come see it with my own eyes in order to believe it. But after all this time, can it really be you? You look so old now. I wasn't that old before, guy. See, we're getting along just like we used to. Probably the accommodate, right? Alright, well I think this is going to go better. Now, so much has changed in your face. I have the wrinkles, the wear, and yet, please stop describing me. I still see that kid. I see my best friend when I look into your eyes. Though the old shop never did half this well. Well, they say location is everything. You know, I've thought about that day you left so many times. I thought about how maybe I should have said something differently, perhaps ended things on better terms. I appreciate that, like, the game has managed to craft a real melancholy kind of ending here, and not in a way that feels forced at all. Like, it feels like it really emerged from the mechanics. Yeah, it's like your mom used to say. It's okay if we don't always understand each other. A few miscommunications shouldn't have to end a friendship. But in our youth, we somehow failed to listen. To her, or to each other. Yeah, and I mean, like, the way the game worked out, right, mechanically speaking, that's 100% on me, because I was giving so much of myself to the road in an attempt to save Bartow that I wasn't saving anything of myself to give to Bartow. Well, life's short, you know? Time has a way of making you look back and reflect on what's really important. I'll never forget the time you came through for me with that synthesizer. And just thinking about it now, it kind of makes me teary-eyed. I mean, we are in a really good position to totally nail this conversation. You know, I'm glad I got to see you again, old friend. You come back and visit Bartow sometime. I took over the Roadhouse after Samuel left. Food's not the same, but it's still pretty good. And in the meantime, here's a little memento to remind you where you came from. It doesn't hold any deep secrets or anything. I never founded any kind of secret society. But still, I'd like you to have it. Elias's smile is soft and sincere. With a twinkle in his eye, he extends his hand to offer you an item. One of his homemade key rings that he salvaged from Mom's old shop. Because they didn't really sell. That was really lovely. And again, I really appreciate that it's able to create an ending that feels very different from the kinds of endings you usually get in game stories. And it feels like it came from the mechanics, the choices we were actually making. There's definitely like a real problem in video games where like there's the gameplay mechanics track and there's the narrative track running alongside, like parallel to it, and they just remain parallel, right? They never really meet. You're either advancing the story or you're failing and replaying sequences to make the story advance the one way it can go. And things like this, I feel like they did a really excellent job here of making this feel like we were creating the story. We were making the story happen with the actual plays and decisions we were making. This is kind of what I was hoping this game was going to be. I'm going to tell you something. Don't tell Echodog. But when I got that email from them, from the PR company they were working for, offering me a sponsorship, I was like, well, hell yeah. Because I had already been watching this game for a long time, and I was absolutely going to do a video on it for free when it came out, no matter what. So, I feel like this game lived up, like, entirely to my hopes for it. And then also I got paid, which is lovely. Maybe a little gauche to be discussing it, but lovely. So yeah, that was Signs of the Sojourner, at least that playthrough of Signs of the Sojourner. If you have played this game, and you've had things go different, even if you've had things go the same, just I'd like to hear your stories in the comments below. If you played Signs of the Sojourner, tell us what your playthrough was like. Tell us what the characterization of your main character was like. So I'd really like to hear the experiences that other people had with this game. But I think that is going to be it for us. I considered doing another one, just running another playthrough, because it's not like they're very long or anything. But I think I want to leave some things for people to discover on their own. I want to have some stuff to discover on my own, you know? So we already have another thing lined up for tomorrow anyway. So that is going to be it for us. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this lovely little, turned out to be pretty melancholy story. And come back tomorrow, next time, for something different. And we'll see you then.